Are you there? Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make this little bird charm that you can use on the side of your minis or as jewelry or however you want. So the parts about the jewelry, I'm not being really specific on those. If you guys need more help on actually stringing this parts on, I can give you a couple of links, or maybe I can make a video for you, but mostly we're going to be concentrating on the shrinking of the shrink-a-dink plastic and how you can use it so you can get this effect. And this one is the Tim Holtz bird cage, but then you can use anything. You can just cut out a shape with scissors, or you can use your any die, and I just chose to use this one. So I think it's really cute. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. Happy Thursday everybody. So today we're gonna be playing with shrink plastic, and I have actually loved doing jewelry with this before, and I'm kind of like going on an embellishment, I don't know, vibe or something, because I decided to make some embellishments or charms using Shrink-a-Dink's plastic and then some dies. And the die that I used for this is the Alterations Cage Bird by Tim Holtz. And so this is a cream color Shrink-a-Dink plastic, and I passed it through to get the bird, and then I used a dark brown for the cage. And now I'm just taking off all the little pieces because they don't come off as easily as paper, and you have to be careful when you do this, but just go ahead and take them all off. So I had to use the little piercer to get these holes out because it was a little bit harder. All your little pieces, if you want to, you can save them. I mean, the tiny ones maybe not so much, but these bigger ones over here, you can save them and do something with them. I don't like to waste. So anyway, so I made sure I tried to do a contrasting color because I want the bird to show, and you know, it's not paper, so I had to use two colors, and it'll end up being like this. But now what you're gonna do is you're gonna shrink it with your heat gun. So if your die does not have a little pierced hole at the top and you're using it for jewelry or for a charm, or you need a hole for some reason up there, then you need to make take a little punch and make a hole. And you can make it big because once it shrinks down, the hole's gonna shrink. So even this hole here might be too small. I'm not sure, we'll see. But see, if you were just using the bird by itself, you would have to punch a hole on here, you know, or wherever you wanted it to dangle from. So, and you might have to experiment with the different sizes. But for now, we're just going to shrink it down with our gun. Okay, so we are going to do it one at a time. And you're going to hold down with either your tweezers or something so it doesn't move. But you'll be moving this around so that it gets heat evenly. So we're just going to turn on our heat gun and go. Ooh, no. Guess I should have taken my own advice. Ooh, that was fun. It went exactly how it was supposed to. So here's your little bird. And now we're gonna do the little wing. And let's see, maybe we should let it cool down a little bit before we move it. Oh. My mat underneath is not liking the heat. Okay. And so we're gonna take the wing. Hold it down. Okay, I think I'm going to use my tweezers next time. we are. The wing is ready. So where is our bird? I know I dumped it somewhere. Okay, here it is. So here's the bird. And here is the little wing. And it should fit on there because they are supposed to be shrinking the same amount. So that's what it would look like if it was just a bird and you could use a different color wing. Okay, now my cage was a total fail. Okay, so after much trial and error, I finally got one that's okay, and I did have to bake it. So if you have a complex design like that bird cage, do not apply heat gun to it because something like this or this might happen unless you're a pro at it, which I'm not. And I have used it a lot, so I think it's just difficult to do. One thing that I did notice is that the hole is a little bit smaller than I would like it to be, and I know I told you guys this from the beginning that it might be too small, but I think it's gonna be okay. If you wanted to though, punch it out with a punch beforehand. And so this die goes with the bird behind it, and then you put the cage over it, and then the wing goes above it like that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue it down with some epoxy glue, if I can get it out. It's underneath my desk. So I'm gonna get a scrap piece of paper. It's not really a scrap, but yeah. And I am going to squeeze out even amounts of this glue. Mine never does it at the same time. Like, it's supposed to do it at the same time, and that's why it comes in this little container. But I always have to, like, do it separately. So, anyway, this is Quick Set Epoxy by Super Glue. And then once it's out, you take a popsicle stick and you have to mix it together. One's the hardener and then one's the something else, I don't know, but they stink. So I don't know, I don't think you guys can see it, but you have to mix them together, and you have to work fast because this is a quick set. It sets in 5 minutes. So I'm gonna get my bird, figure out exactly where I want it on here, and then I'm gonna apply glue to those 3 bars in the middle. So this glue somewhat shows, so if you want to be careful with where you place it, that's fine. Oh, sorry, I'm not in the frame. So I'm just placing glue with my popsicle stick on the 3 bars where I know the bird's gonna for sure be. And then I'm gonna place my bird over it. Oh, great. Let me see, I think I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah, better. And then I'm gonna let it set, and that should take 5 minutes. And then don't mix a lot of glue because you have to let that one set before you can put in the wing, and I forgot about that, so I mixed a lot, but you should mix less than what I did. And so this will be dry before I use the next one, so I'm gonna have to remix some more. So we're gonna wait for this to dry, and we'll be right back. Okay, so while we're waiting for the little bird to dry, I'm gonna be making a necklace with this, I decided. So I am going to be making some beads. Sorry, I can't do anything and talk at the same time. We're gonna be stringing some beads in these little head pins. So I don't know if it's gonna focus, but a head pin is, eye pin, sorry, is the one that has the little hole at the end, and that's because they're going to be we're going to need 2 loops to connect them, because this is connecting. If it's a dangle, then you need a hairpin, which is, let me get one real quick for you. One that looks almost like a regular stick pin, not stick pin, but you know, the sewing pins. So what you're going to need are some needle nose pliers, some wire cutters, and maybe some flat nose pliers, depending on if you can do it with the needle nose or not. So you're going to hold it, and then really close to your bead, basically no space between your bead and your pliers, and then you're going to push it with your thumb to make a right angle like this, and then you're going to have you're going to reposition them upward like this, and you're going to get this piece of wire and loop it over the top of your plier like that. At least this is how I do it. Oh, this is not focusing. And so see how we already have most of the loop there? And then you're going to reposition your plier to this spot right here that's not in a loop form. Take it out and then reposition it. And then you're going to finish the loop by going underneath. And then you'll end up with something like this. And you can push it in more if it was a little bit big. You'll end up with something like this, and then you'll cut off this little part with your wire cutters. Now, how the needle nose pliers work is the smaller the loop is on this side, and as you go back is a big loop. So if you want a huge loop, you'd use the bottom part of it, and if you want a tiny one, you'd use this part of it. Okay, and so you're gonna take your wire cutters, and now these wire cutters are not my best ones. I can't find my best ones. I don't like these ones because they don't cut really close to where it's going, so it usually leaves a gap. I am not liking the fact that I can't see what I'm doing, which means you guys can't see what I'm doing. So anyway, you're gonna cut this part off. Just be careful not to cut your other piece of wire that's connecting it, and so you get something like this, and it's already somewhat open. You can take, if you don't have these and the needle nose pliers are okay, you'll take these to open it to the side. Now every loop, no matter if it's on a bead, if it's strung like this, or if it's just a jump ring, you open it to the side. You never open up, you always open to the side like that, because you don't want to ruin your little loop. And so you're going to be making a lot of these, and you'll take this side of the other one and you're going to let it fall in there, and then you're going to take your flat nose pliers and you are going to be closing it again. I'm really annoyed with my camera at the moment. It's not focusing at all, but basically you'll get 2, and then you'll do the same thing with this edge and loop the next one on there and the next one on there, and I'll show you once it's done. Okay guys, so my little bird cage thing dried and then I dangled some beads using putting them on a head pin, and then using some jump rings to connect it so that they wouldn't be so tight in there, and that makes them more flowy. And then on the top here, I decided I'm not gonna make a necklace after all, because I don't have time right now and I wanted to finish this video. And so instead I am gonna make it into a charm to dangle off of a mini. So like I said, that hole right there is really small, so you're gonna have to use a jump ring for sure for this part, and you're just gonna insert it in the hole and then you're gonna close it up. So anyway, hope you guys like this and that you guys will try it as well and share with me what you did. I'm going to post some pictures at the end, like I said, of the rings that I have made using the same technique. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.